Doma Sports Talk, worldwide, with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Now, let's talk Canelo. I was going to say weights, but with Canelo, you don't know which one he's going to be at, right? It could be 160, 168, 175, or let's not forget Canelo weight, 155, which is not a weight. So, Canelo Alvarez, I was listening to an interview read an interview about a day or two ago. Didn't say nothing about it, but if that would be true, it would be ridiculous. Now, we know that Canelo Alvarez is looking for who his next opponent is, and it's taking a little time. We also know that Canelo Alvarez is not really getting along with um, your boy Oscar De La Hoya, his promoter. I hear that they're even talking through lawyers. They're not even talking to each other. You can see the body language in the last fight. They're not really, feeling each other right now. And I'm going to tell you why I think that is. I think that is because Oscar De La Hoya is a true champion, and he was fighting some of the hard fights back in the day, and he's made statements lately saying who Canelo should probably fight in order to be called great. In the middleweight division, it's Charlo and Andrade. And I'm pretty sure Canelo doesn't want to hear that. And before all these years, I've been saying that it's not Canelo, it's the people around him. But no, that's changed. It's Canelo. Canelo wants these fights that he's fighting, right? And his promoters want something different, right? They have more confidence in him. They think he can beat these guys, right? And he does it. So he, keeps looking for, things. He go up and fight Rory Fielding. That's a regular title. That's not one. That doesn't mean Canelo is a 3-division champion, not 4. Rory Fielding doesn't count. WBA regular titles mean nothing. I was talking about it in another video. Look at Lucas Brown was a regular champion in the heavyweight division. Anybody ever thought he was in the top 10? Ruslan Chakayev. That was a regular champion, right? Those are never the ones they give them. You know what I'm saying? Murata, who we're going to talk about now. Now, Canelo is supposed to be, in talks to fight Murata in Japan. Maybe even not Japan, but Murata. That's the regular champion at the 160-pound division. Now, he was saying that if he was fought at 175, he might not want to come down to 160. Well, Murata is at 160, right? He's at 160. So, Canelo would have to fight at 160. And that would be pretty embarrassing when you wouldn't want an undisputed fight with Demetrius Andrade or fight a champion and Jamal Charlo, right? Both of those are champions. So in order to avoid them, you were thinking about 168. Okay, right? But here's the problem. At 168, I'm hearing that he wants to bring Murata up from 160 to 168 to fight him. You better not do that, right? You better not do that. I think if Canelo fights Murata at 168, everybody that knows boxing a little bit more. Now, a casual fan won't understand what just happened, right? Because with Canelo. But even Canelo fans, I think he's going to have a big problem there. If he goes and fights Murata, who's at 160 and only a regular champion, right? And pull him up to 168. Because if you're going to do that, Demetrius Andrade said he'll come to 168. Charlo would come to 168. But forget those because they're at 160, right? So let's just act like they can't do it. But you still got Callum Smith, Benavidez, somebody like that too. But I didn't mention him, and Billy Joe Saunders at 168. Those are all better than bringing a guy from 160 to 168 who had never been to 168, Murata. And the question would be, why the hell? You have champions there. So that means we're going to go out our way to not mess with no champions. Like Golovkin messing around with Semereta, right? Forcing him to be the mandatory so he can fight Semereta instead of also fighting either one of those champions. Or rematching your boy he lost to from Ukraine, Derevyanchenko, right? Look at these finagling. And these guys here, like I say in all videos, will be above the guys they won't fight in the pound-for-pound list. Canelo, if he fights Murata, I think that would be embarrassing. That's what this video is. It's been embarrassing to me. And that's somebody who liked Canelo, like Canelo. I think Canelo's awesome. I can sit here and do some talk positive about Canelo, and people would think I'm a Canelo fanboy. Canelo didn't beat Gennady Golovkin in that first fight, but it looked awesome. I'm talking about that defense looked just awesome. I didn't think he won the fight. I think he lost the fight. But he showed how his defensive prowess in that first fight. He had Golovkin missing a lot of shots. But like in most fights, the aggressor, the one who's trying, to push the action, you're gonna win close rounds. Except if your name is Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury. But most cases, that guy is going to win those close rounds, even though the other guy's playing defense, right? And Canelo looked good in his defense. It looked Mayweather-ish, right? But he still didn't win the fight. But I just think it's awesome. Then, to stand in front of Gennady Golovkin in the next fight, right in front of him, and still have your defense and come and walk him down at certain times, having Gennady Golovkin back-footing. It was awesome to watch. Still don't think he won the fight against Golovkin because Golovkin was the champion, and I think it was at least a draw, if not Golovkin for a round or two. But Canelo was there. You wanted Mexican style, and he was there. He's done some awesome little things. But it's always a little finagling, and you have to call it out because it's absolutely ridiculous. Because they will call him the face of boxing and the number one guy pound for pound, and then the boxing writers and everyone involved in boxing understands exactly what he's doing. This is coming off of making your own weight division. Instead of 154 or 160 like it should be, it's enough divisions to be at 155 for 3 fights and calling people up to 155, calling people up to 155, or fighting a mummy and Chavez Jr., calling him down. Chavez Jr. couldn't even move. He was so weight trained, right? Just what's going on, dude, right? And so what the hell are we looking at Murata, who's a 168 regular champion, right? And pull him up to 168 when there's people at 168. And there's your 160 guys who would come up to 168 to fight you that are more formidable Americans speak English. It's like everybody should not speak English if you want America to be happy. Well, we saw our Senate. We know what time it is. But it's absolutely ridiculous. And, he gets away with it because the American market just basically, it's BTBG in boxing. It's beat the black guy. And just to be honest with you. And it's the reason because Americans, bottom line is this. I'll say it now, damn it. It's just the way it is. How many white American champions do we have in boxing? I always ask that question. That's the problem, and that's missing. That's why Europeans should come in. How many? If the name ain't Caleb Plant, it ain't one, right? And Caleb Plant, black as hell. You know what I'm saying? He's Bill Clinton black. You know what I'm saying? So it's one. So that's why the influx of other ones have to be there so the fans can be happy. That's all it is. It's the same with boxing, with basketball. The NBA is shooting 3-pointers. They needed Europeans to come to the NBA. They said it. In the mid-90s, they said it. We need the audience doesn't look like the people on the floor. People on the floor is 90% black and the audience is not. We got to change that. That's why the 3-point shooting and the no defense and no rewarding athletic plays in the NBA. It's just constantly that stuff. You can act like you don't see it or you can not mention it that much because you don't want to because we don't want to, right? But, just call it out for what it is. That's the problem, right? Instead of just letting the chips fall where they may in certain sports. We're not changing no rules in snowboarding and swimming. It is what it is. You just won't see people of color doing well in those sports. It is what it is. You know what I mean? And whatever. Don't mean we don't like the sport. Just because ain't no brothers in there. I watch Formula One and tennis like religiously. You don't see no people of color too much. You know what I'm saying? And whatever. It is what it is. You like the sport or you don't like the sport. That's what that is. But, a lot of people can't think that way, and that's an inferiority complex. Get over it. Now, back to Canelo. If Canelo fights Murata at 168, that would be embarrassing, period. And I think that would be the statement that everybody needs to see. And I think a lot of people will cling on to it this time and realize what really has just happened. Because you're really just looking and reaching for something. Instead of all of these wonderful fights that are there right in front of you that you're just saying, nope, I'm not doing. I don't like his style, Demetrius Andrade. I don't like Charlo's style because he comes forward. I don't like Billy Joe Saunders. He's a runner. I don't like anybody who could possibly beat me with their style. And I'm the best boxer in all of boxing. And I'm the face of boxing. Does that sound right to anybody? Doma Sports Talk. Worldwide. And I'm up out of here, y'all. Ryota Murata. Ryota Murata. Ryota Murata. Vámonos. Ryota Murata. Cinco de Mayo.